Hi everyone, my name's Brianna. I'm going to be discussing this week's article, first being Japanese and the hip hop culture. How do the various specific stylistic differences between Japanese hip hop and American hip hop reflect differences in Japanese core values and American core values? So I think with Japanese hip hop, they, from what I've gathered, speak more on issues that lifestyle, I shouldn't say issues, more of Japanese lifestyles that they can relate to in their country and you know, their culture. As for American core values, I hear rap songs more about personal struggles, what that person has gone through, how they were brought up, family, siblings, mom, relationship issues, more stuff that we can all kind of relate to in American culture. Also, I hear a lot of rappers talking about, you know, being done wrong with the system of the government, being treated differently, you know, that kind of stuff, but also being blessed, how they have a good lifestyle, you know, and have made something out of themselves and, you know, followed their dreams, essentially. So I thought that is how it varied. American culture certainly values individual personal freedom and expression, sometimes even results in violence or lack of communal safety. Provide an example that you see in American society where this is clearly the case. Which do you think should be paramount, personal choice or freedom? So obviously the first thing that comes to my mind would probably be how people have the arguments about guns and gun laws. I think, you know, it's kind of a topic that anyone could debate on all day, every day. So I personally don't know where I really lean towards in that matter, because I do understand how guns can be used to protect people, intruders, killers, you know, breaking into your house or whatnot. But I also see how they are used for evil. You know, it's almost like we can't even go a week in America without hearing about some sort of shooting situation happening. I think it could be a personal choice. I think it could be used for safety and for good, but unfortunately people are so easily accessing these guns nowadays. I mean, I just seen on the news the other day, a child got a hold of her parents' gun and shot and killed herself accidentally. That is absolutely horrific. I think, you know, there could be a solution maybe where we could make it a little bit more difficult to access the guns, or putting stipulations on where people store their guns, although that is, I think, already a thing. And, you know, but it seems like kids are just getting access to these guns and parents aren't properly storing them. So I don't know if there would be a full resolution. I think it should be, I don't know, to answer the question, it's kind of hit or a miss, I guess. Although there are these strict laws in line, people do not do their part and take responsibility for their ownership of the guns and, you know, leave them out. So yeah, that is my take on question 2, and thank you very much. The second article I'm going to be reviewing is Men's Pleasure and Women's Labor. I thought this article was super interesting. It's a pretty controversial topic that we still see today, even, in America, with prostitution issues and, people getting busted or going to jail for prostitution, sometimes drug related. So I thought this topic to be super interesting. A lot of different viewpoints, I'm sure, from other people. What encourages the globalization of the sex trade in the Dominican Republic? Well, overall, I think, making money. Women are beginning to do sex work because they're just not making enough money to support themselves or their children. I think that's the number one thing there. Also, women, so you see in the article, one of the women is doing this in hopes to, not only financially make herself secure, but find a better life for herself. Finding a rich man where she can be set for the rest of her life, maybe move to a different country where she can be stable and financially taken care of. But overall, I think it's poverty and just wanting a better life. These women are obviously struggling and need to do what they have to do. Question 2. Many Americans perceive prostitution as exploitative of women, and yet in the Dominican Republic, it is a way for women to provide for themselves in a way that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. Is prostitution oppressing to women or empowering? Should it be legalized? Explain why or not, and be sure to explain how your answers reflect your core values. So this is the controversialness of this topic. I do think that overall, I think prostitution should be legalized. Why? Because I think everyone has a choice to do what they want with their body. I think that it is seen and can be a very dangerous job, not only because, drugs can be involved, violence, guns, physical abuse, but also, and also STDs. I think if we put I don't know if this sounds crazy, but it's just a solution. If we actually had proper places where prostitution could take place, and there could be certain requirements for people in order to take place in the company or the, how do you say it? Yeah, the company. So I think it could be legalized. I think a lot of people look down on women for prostitution and men for prostitution and think it's kind of, they're better than, but also not everyone has been in someone's shoes. So I think us as, a free country should be able to obviously have the right to do what we want and have our own ways to, make money and support our families. Obviously, I think what I've heard from prostitution, it can be dangerous. I think obviously there needs to be age limits and a lot of rules and factors that go in if it does take place. But we just don't know what it's like living as another person who isn't able to obtain education or better opportunities like other people are. So I think having this as an option for people, it's their body. They can do whatever they want to it. They know the risks and what could come with it. But at the end of the day, it's providing for their family and they want to do it. And I'm also thinking about it. It's like strip clubs are legal in America and those can be pretty aggressive. I've heard stories and it's not always just dancing. They have private rooms where they take men back to and, give private lap dances, so on and so forth. I've heard that they will do, you know, sex acts for extra money. So why not make it legal? Like, just, I don't know. But anyway, so yes, overall, I think it should be legalized. That is my thought. That aligns with my values and beliefs. So thank you very much.